What is up, everyone? Thank you for joining me. What does that sound? Sounds like some Hearthstone to me. So this is a deck tech for what I call my 3 Prince Zoo deck. And I'm just going to go straight into it. I don't want to bore you guys with extra details. What is all this shit? I just want to give you the actual decks. You can see it. And we're going to make this deck tech as quick as possible, discussing all the cards and the important interactions. And then we're just going to go straight into a video of gameplay. And you can see the video by clicking up on the link on the top right side of your screen, right? So click that video for the gameplay. Now let's talk about the deck. Basically, it revolves around this core of having these 3 princes here: Prince Keleseth, Taldaram, and Prince Valinor. Now, if you've ever played with the princes, you realize that this really prohibits deck construction. If you run the 2-drop prince, that means you can't run any 2-drop cards. If you run the 3-drop prince, you can't run any 3-drop cards. If you run the 4-drop prince, you can't run any 4-drop cards. Now, that's pretty limiting. And each card has its own value in different types of decks individually. For instance, Prince Valinor is a 4-drop card. He is good in decks like Miracle Rogue because Miracle Rogue doesn't play a lot of 4-drops and can get rid of the 4-drops and play this instead. And that's a good addition to the deck, right? Same with something like Keleseth, which is good in traditional Zoo and also good in things like Handbuff Paladin, or even in Rogue, where you can give up your 2-drops and instead play Keleseth, and that'll give you that overall boost to your deck building in total. But obviously, Keleseth won't really see good play in decks like Hunter because there's too many good Hunter drops at 2, and it won't see play in decks like, I'm assuming, Priest, because Priest has some pretty good 4-drops. So this is how deck building becomes limited or whatnot. Now, putting all 3 princes together in one deck is kind of crazy, simply because not only am I limiting 1 card slot, I'm limiting 3 primary card slots on the curve, right? So that means that the rest of my deck cannot have 2, 3, and 4-drop cards. And if you look at the life of Hearthstone, you'll realize that there are quite a bunch of good cards at between 2 and 4 casting costs. So what I've done here is I've created a zoo list that has 2 major themes going on. Number 1, there's no 2 to 4 drops outside of the princess. Number 2, they're demon and sacrifice heavy. And this is very tricky, and it's very new, and it has a lot of synergies, and it really is the kind of thing where your opponent is losing because he is misplaying because he doesn't know what you're doing. And I think it's a big thing, and it really helps a lot, and its creativity helps spur innovation, guys. And I think this deck, I'm 17 and 3 with this deck. At Legend rank, I don't play casual. I just play this on Legend. And God, Blizzard, you are killing me, Blizzard. What is this? Give me a moment to restart. But yeah, I don't play casual. I've only played at Legend ranked with this deck, and it's done 17 and 3. I beat a lot of Jade Druids. I beat a lot of Murloc Paladins. I'll tell you why that's a good matchup, I guess. I beat Priest, but I've also lost to a Priest or 2. I beat Pirate Warrior. I beat the Mage variants. So this deck is obviously working for me. And I just want to show you it in action so that you believe, that you become a believer. I'm not saying that this is a meta-breaking deck. This is like the best deck in Hearthstone. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying it's a different way to build a deck. And it just shows that some cards can see play, right? But let's just talk about the synergies first before I get into another video. We got Arcturus Veterans. We have 2 of these. These are standard. Gotta have them. These boost your attack on your other drops. And since we play primarily 1-drops, you need 2 of these. Bloodcell Corsair are patches activators, and they remove weapons. And this has proven very relevant versus Warlock, versus Paladin, Hunter, and Warrior, and Shaman to some extent. Flaming is just a very good statted 1-drop. Hungry Crab eats up Murlocs, so this is really good versus Shaman for the Murloc totem, and it's really good versus Paladin because Paladins play a lot of Murlocs. Right? Malachizer's Imp, which is a good statted 1-drop. If you have a 1/3 1-drop, typically you want to play it. And Imp is pretty good, especially with Doomguard, right? Mortal Coil just gives you some added removal for early game stuff. Patches, obviously, Patches has been discussed a lot. We know why it's good. Getting it out for free is huge tempo, and it also thins your deck. It's a very strong, overpowered legendary. Possessed Pillager, this is there for Sanguine Reveler, and also to copy with the third Prince. And here's Sanguine Reveler, which has a lot of synergy with the deck. Okay, you make a trade with one of your smaller minions, and then you kill that minion to boost this, and it's big tempo. It's actually a pretty decent card. Voidwalker, it's just a demon and it's a taunt. Wretched Tiller, now this is kind of a weak card, and I'll probably change this out to something else. I don't know what yet. But in the game, for me, it's actually worked pretty well, because it does, often it represents more than 1 damage. Like it's doing 3 to 5 damage for me over the course of a game, which is not too bad for a 1-drop. Prince Keleseth, obviously you want to get this. You want to mulligan pretty aggressively to try to get this early, because this will definitely increase your win rate with the deck. It's a huge boost to your creature base. Taldaram is cool because it has synergy, because a lot of the 1-drops are 1-drops you want to copy. You can copy Patches to have haste. You can copy Malachizer's Imp for the discard mechanic for your Doomguard. You can copy a Voidwalker for taunt. You can copy a Possessed Villager to add a 1/1 if it dies. You can copy a Despicable Dreadlord for the damage at end of turn. There's really, like, you can copy a Doomguard for haste. Also, there's like really a lot of shit that this guy can do. It's not bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad. I don't know if it's worth it, like really in the long run, to limit your 3-drop spot just to run him. But for me, he's been working out okay, and like I'm trying to stick with the theme here. I'm trying to play all 3 princes. Valinor is the 4-drop prince, and this has been great. Okay, it's just a solid 4-drop. It's got good abilities. Usually has to be dealt with. And in this deck, since you're fighting for the board so aggressively in the beginning, typically your opponents aren't going to be able to remove Valinor with 1 action. They're going to need 2 creatures usually. Bane of Doom, this is just a flex card. I needed a damage spell. I liked it. 2 Despicable Dreadlords. It's good. It's a chillin' Yeti with the damage on the board, and I think it's nice when you look at the way how your deck is built. It's so full of all these small creatures. So, they're just going to do chump damage here and there, and you'll be able to keep a board clear with Dreadlord. Doomguard just gives you the reach, obviously, as haste. Siphon Soul for a choice removal. And then Blood Reaver Gul'dan to just kind of freak everybody out at the end of the game, where you've gone to 10 or 11 turns, and they're like, holy shit, we're going to win this game. And then bam, you just bring up a board of, Voidwalkers, Imps, Doomguards, and this guy. And it's pretty crazy. That's the deck, guys. We're going to run it. I tried different mechanics with it. I tried to build the Warlock quest into the deck, but it didn't work out for me, and I was much more happy with this build, which is just a straight zoo build. So without further ado, catch my next video. You can see it up here in the corner, and we're going to get straight into gameplay.